Chapter 40. The wedding was a beautiful, if an odd, experience. But then Otis and Marlena were a beautiful, if odd, couple. They had come up to me after the second set one night at Sawyer's, a man with his arm around his woman friend's heaving shoulders, the woman weeping like a 2-year-old who just dropped her double-dip Rocky Road ice cream cone kersplat on the hot summer sidewalk. These two were easily the plainest couple I'd ever laid eyes upon. Plain as dirt, plain as the nose on your face, 2 cents plain. Not ugly, mind you. I mean, not turn you to stone, but ugly, but plain. He, short and plump and doughy as a cold popover. She, all stringy off blonde hair and tiny, close-set eyes magnified to ridiculous proportions by a pair of what used to be called granny glasses, the nose piece of which was held together with a wound-up wad of Scotch tape. They were probably no more than a couple of years older than I, but they had a look of perpetual middle age. They looked about 42. They probably looked 42 at birth, and in 10 years they'd still look 42. I loved them immediately. "Hi there," said the man, extending a pudgy hand, furry nearly to the nails. "My name's Otis, and this," he indicated with the walking tear duct under his left arm, "is Marlena." "Hi," Marlena half-sobbed, sniff, hiccup. "Hi." "Hi," I said somewhat tentatively. "Is something the matter?" "Oh, no." Otis made an overlarge cartoonish gesture with both arms. His shirt was sweat-soaked from his armpits halfway to his waist. "It's just that we'd like you to sing at our wedding." "Oh, really?" I smiled. "I love weddings. Here comes the bride, all dressed in white, going to the chapel of love. Give me that white lace and orange blossoms every time. No matter how tired and cynical I may become, every time I hear those do-yous and I-do's, damn if I don't have to blink back a tear, and damned if I don't believe in the whole crock all over again. Love, marriage, forever, till eternity, the whole schmear." "Well," I said, "if I'm free the day of your wedding, I'd be honored." Marlena sobbed a thank you. "Did I do that?" I asked, indicating the still sobbing Marlena. Otis nodded. "She started right in the middle of Earth Angel, and she hasn't stopped since." "Really?" The idea that I'd moved this ordinary plain Jane of a woman to tears was pleasing indeed. As a man who still bursts into uncontrollable tears every time I hear "So Much in Love" by the Times, I could appreciate any woman moved to historical tears by song, especially mine. "In fact," Otis continued, "that's what we want you to sing at our wedding." "What's what you want me to sing at your wedding?" "Earth Angel." "You're kidding." "Nope," he insisted, "it's our song." Marlena, who had by this time finally managed to find the off switch on her optical sprinkler system, stopped her sobbing, sniffled, and nodded her agreement. "Oh," I said. How odd, I thought. My relatively brief career as a semi-professional pop vocalist, I'd done at least my fair share of weddings. Weddings are the pop musician's bread, if not butter. They are, by and large, the most excruciating kind of gig a musician can play, but they usually pay well, so I did them. Every chance I got. I'd sung Ave Maria for the choir loft at St. Monica's. I'd sung Fiddler on the Roof medleys at the Tres Juifs Hillcrest Country Club in Beverly Hills. I'd sung We've Only Just Begun, and For All We Know, so many times they've come to make me an honorary carpenter. But never have I been asked to sing anything as off the left wall as Earth Angel. Seriously? I had not discounted the possibility that this guy was pulling my leg. I mean, we did Earth Angel as a full-on doo-wop number, 4-part harmony and the whole deal, Sha-na-na material. Where were these two planning to get married? On a New Jersey street corner? "Of course," said the finely dry-eyed Marlena, her first completely intelligible word so far. "Well," I said, "Earth Angel you want, Earth Angel you shall have." "Oh, thank you," Marlena suddenly hurled herself at me in a potentially whiplash-inducing embrace around my neck. "Just a couple of things I had to tell you," Otis said. And I thought, uh-oh, here it comes. I disengaged Marlena from around my neck. "The wedding's going to be in Laguna Beach," Otis said. "Is that all?" I shrugged. Although I'd never actually been to Laguna Beach, I was relatively sure I could cope with it. "And," Otis continued, lifting the westernmost half of his one long bushy eyebrow, "I'm afraid we can't afford to pay you very much." "Well, how much is not very much exactly?" $200? Now there's only so much $200 could get you in this ever-changing world in which we live. Even as far back as the summer of '79. One thing $200 would definitely not get you was any 5-piece combo known to man. There wasn't so much as a Canoga Park garage band, median age of members being 15 and a half, that would haul down to Laguna for $200,000. What Otis and Marlena got for $200 Pazouzas was me, Snooky, and the American popular song in what in many states of the Union could pass for its entirety. The hatchback of Snooky's Pacer carried to Laguna Snooky's entire pop sheet music collection, the entire contents of his piano bench and a small filing cabinet, the top shelf of his bedroom closet, and then some. That collection in hand and my own astounding memory for song lyrics in mind, we were ready for just about anything. The wedding, held in the living room of the rambling Frank Lloyd Wrightish Laguna Beach home of Marlena's parents, easily fell into the just about anything category. For one thing, Otis was Jewish and Marlena Irish Catholic, which afforded all the Latter-day Abbey's Irish rosisms one could ask for, and then some. The couple were married under the chuppah, Otis looking like Petrushka and the dancing bear in his powder blue polyester tuxedo, Marlena as close to pretty as she was likely to ever get in a white satin dress with puffy snow-white sleeves. A clergyman of unclear denomination read from the Torah, the Dewey Bible, and Khalil Gibran, after which I stood in the elbow of the rented baby grand piano and sang Earth Angel. Snooky had done a simple, decidedly unpenguin arrangement, so it was likely that many of the older guests, squirming in their uncomfortable Abbey Rents folding metal chairs, found it indistinguishable from We've Only Just Begun. After the song, Otis broke a glass with his heel, and half the guests yelled Mazel Tov, while the rest crossed themselves. The reception was held in the downstairs rumpus room. Snooky pounded more sound out of a small, not quite in tune upright than I would have thought possible, and there was dancing. We played dance band, Snooky taking 2 or 3 choruses, me taking a vocal chorus. Look at me, I'm Marion Hutton, and then Snooky taking the last chorus and out. I must have sung 8 or 9 choruses of Be mi bist du schon every time we'd finished. The Jewish delegation would yell, "One more time." We fielded requests from people our age who asked for My Sharona and who were laughingly surprised when we did it, and from roly-poly middle-aged ladies with Betty Boop voices who gigglingly requested Al Jolson hits and were pleasantly shocked when I, a 22-year-old Schwartz, knew them. I rummaged through the stacks of sheet music while Snooky played instrumentals. We did Smoke, Get in Your Eyes, and There's Kind of a Hush. And Earth Angel again. We did Great Balls of Fire, a whole lot of shaking going on, and Sea Cruise, and an impromptu melody, and we twisted the afternoon away. While Snooky played a foxtrot and I looked through the charts for I've Got the World on a String, Otis, his clip-on butterfly bow tie dangling from his collar, touched me on the shoulder. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, he said. Oh, I'd come all the way to Laguna for 200 clams to sing in somebody's rumpus room. What could he possibly think might be beneath me? Aunt Lena wants to sing, Otis said. I glanced at Snooky, who'd been listening while he played, and I knew he felt the same way I did. This is your wedding, dude. You want Aunt Lena to sing? I shrugged. Otis led a tiny, bent woman in white to the piano. She was all of 4.5 feet tall, with a little hump in her back. Her lacy white dress gave her an achingly sad Miss Havisham look. The only other woman in white was the bride herself. Aunt Lena's hands were gnarled into utter uselessness by arthritis. She no doubt required help dressing, but her eyes were the sparkling clear dark eyes of a young girl. Sunrise, sunset, Otis said. Snooky didn't need the chart for this one. There hasn't been a Jewish or even a half-Jewish wedding since 1964 that didn't include sunrise, sunset. The old lady hooked her tiny arm around Otis's and held him fiercely to her side as she half sang, half whispered, "Is this the little boy I carried?" You could have heard a pin drop onto the indoor-outdoor carpeted floor as Aunt Lena rasped her way through the first verse. This tiny relic of a woman, obviously the matriarch of Otis's family, even hushed the Irish faction, who held their champagne-loosened tongues in respect to the old lady's years. When did he grow to be so tall, she sang, barely whispering the line, then turned her face to Otis's sleeve and cried barely audible sobs, her tears beating up and rolling off the plasticine fabric of Otis's suit. Otis held the old taunt in his arms, and I took up the song, gesturing the guests to sing along. By the time we finished, there wasn't a dry eye in the house, least of all mine.